Hello and welcome to Yep, a King of the Hill podcast that wears both cow skull and bull skull bolo ties. I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Rob. Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 12, Plastic White Female.
Maybe he just fell on it or something.
Hank, he was kissing it.
Maybe he just fell on it or something.
Hank.
In this episode, Luanne needs to practice styling hair and Bobby needs to practice romance. Luckily, there's a detached mannequin head on Rainy Street. Two birds, one stone for this mannequin head.
There you go.
Rob, it's our season finale. It's the last broadcasted episode of Season 1. Now, there is...
Let me interrupt you right away.
Yes,
I didn't know how the
please.
fuck to articulate that because it's the last Season 1 episode to get broadcast, which I know you were about to say, sorry. The company man gets broadcast in Season 2. So is that the last broadcast Season 1? Or once it broadcasts in Season 2, it becomes officially no longer Season 1, even though it's on the Season 1 DVDs and was made for Season 1?
Right.
That's the complex situation we're in.
It is confusing. It's a whole philosophical exercise here of what is the company man episode.
I would love to overthink something pointlessly. Can we do that?
I don't feel like it is, though, because this is kind of like the last time that we see the Season 1 art style, except for Company Man. And I feel like that is worth mentioning because, for example, in Season 1, characters have slightly darker skin tones. The hills have a red refrigerator instead of green, orange kitchen floor instead of green. If you get used to like the way it is then in Season 2, then it might be a little jarring going back to that art style in the Company Man episode. So... yeah, kind of. I don't know why they didn't air it all in one go. I have no idea.
I love that Company Man episode too.
It's a great one. And so I do want to touch on that because here we are, end of Season 1, and I feel like the show, especially with Plastic White Female, is really coming into the King of the Hill that we know and love, except no Buck Strickland.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's weird. They don't bring him until Season 2, but that's really not true because he's in the Company Man. He should have shown up here in Season 1. If the Company Man had aired, along with the other episodes it was made with.
Either way, this is a good one.
Yes.
I love Plastic White Female. I think I'm wrong about it, have always been wrong about it. It's one of two things. Either I'm just fucking wrong, or it's just another case where I didn't have a complete understanding of what all's going on. I was going to say this, that one thing, here we are at the end of Season 1, 12th episode of Yep, talking about King of the Hill. One of the prevailing realizations that I had never had, that we stumble upon here and there when we talk about, is that it's surprisingly, I think to me, that it's complicated, that there's kind of multiple ways to understand what's going on. I don't like layers. I don't know if I've ever said that, but people would be like, this works on so many layers. I'm like, what is a layer? And also name two. Like I'm an asshole about it.
Someone's trying to talk with you about something that you're interested in. You're
I'm like, hold on
a second.
Did you just say fucking layer? But I think it's common enough that an episode of King of the Hill works on multiple layers. And this is one of them. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to mention this is the first King of the Hill episode written by David Zuckerman. He was a supervising producer this season, so anybody who was a real credits hound would have been seeing David's name in the credits up until this point. He later becomes a Family Guy showrunner and also created the American version of Wilfred. Have you seen that show?
I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah, I liked the bit of it I saw. I didn't watch all of it, but I enjoy it. I should go back and check that out. But that's a great show, and David doing a great job on this episode because... this is one of those iconic ones. Bobby's kissing a head. What the heck? But it's just so crammed full of jokes that it's one of those I was just chuckling away while watching it in preparation for this.
Top tier.
Really great run. It is May 11th, 1997. Let's crack open this Arlen bystander, or as we'll see in this episode, our Arlen courier, and see what's going on. We get to sit in on some of Bobby's private moments in this episode, and what if I were to tell you that there was a private section to Yep, a King of the Hill podcast that only supporters of the show could hear. Ooh, tantalizing. What are Rob and Ronnie kissing over there? Well, you could find out for $5 a month. Head on over to yeppodcast.com/support. Not only do you get to listen in on these private moments, but it really does help support this show and allow us to do this and allow us to spend this time talking about this wonderful show that is King of the Hill. So this week, Rob and I are talking about the 96-97 fall lineups. That includes King of the Hill, which was a mid-season replacement, and we talk about some of the other shows that debuted alongside King of the Hill this season. There's some classic shows. There's also a lot of stinkers that I never heard of before, including one show that Fox only aired one episode of. It was so bad. All sorts of stuff. Supporters are also getting some pre-show chatter. That's just Rob and I hopping on the mics to record these episodes, and it's just whatever kind of conversation we have while catching up with each other. In Plastic White Female, Rob, he relays to me he's done with coffee machines, all right? It's all about human labor for him, and he has begun doing pour-over coffees instead of using a coffee machine, and, well, we get into some new age slurs because of that. I like that you're not taking orders from no machine, no clanker.
Wow.
You're like, hell no. I'll pour it myself, you son of a bitch.
Boy, Felix said clanker for the first time yesterday. I hadn't heard that. And then he's like, whatever other slurs for the robots.
For machines. How do we feel about that? We have a new line of slurs coming out here.
I mean, one thing is like, I don't know, like even for fun, do we need to be playing with, mean language? I don't know.
When our jobs are at stake here, and again, you're putting your foot down and you're saying, no, I'm gonna retain the human ritual of making coffee, which existed long before the machines arrived. Rob's got a point, I think. Maybe I don't need to be adding new slurs to my vocabulary, even if they do pertain to societal disrupting computer programs. But that does make me wonder how Bobby Hill would have used AI in Plastic White Female. Maybe he would have practiced flirting with ChatGPT. I don't know. We didn't have that back in the 90s. We had to go analog with it. Thank you for listening to Yep. If you can't afford to support the show, totally understandable. Like we mentioned, our jobs are at stake here. Just telling a friend, a King of the Hill fan, about this podcast would help us out so much. Just like Peggy tells Hank about Bobby kissing the mannequin head. Let's go talk about it. So we open in on your favorite, Rob. Mm-hmm. Bobby and Joseph. They're hanging out. They're boys being boys. And they are on this overpass. And they are playing Star Trek as a car approaches. They hawk something up to spit, and then, with mouths full of mucus here, of boogers, then they talk about Joseph's upcoming party.
I'm having a party next Sunday. Can I come? I guess. Arm the photon torpedoes. Is there gonna be cake?
No, this party's gonna be different.
Different how? There's gonna be girls. Fire!
Bobby swallows at the end.
Yeah, because he's scared of them gals gonna be at that party.
I don't know how I feel about the guys playing Star Trek.
Is that what this is called? Like, is this a name for this activity?
Well, they're just photon torpedoes,
Okay.
and it all sounds like Star Trek verbiage to me. I'm guessing it's Star Trek. Oh, yeah, and then they say "Make It So," which is a Captain Picard thing. So yeah, they're definitely doing Star Trek. Which, nerds are people too. I just didn't know that Bobby and Joseph were that way.
Hold on. So what do you mean by that way? Do you mean nerds, or you mean spitting on cars?
No, spitting on cars I expect from them.
Well, that kind of surprised me, but I guess we don't know these characters enough at this point.
I mean, just because it's a little delinquent.
Yeah, but at the same time, I guess with the previous episode, King of the Anthill, Joseph was showing some tendencies in this way.
Right.
But this is one of those episodes where it's like right off the bat, I'm laughing because I like that Joseph tells him, I'm having a party. They're best friends. Bobby's like, oh, can I come? And Joseph's like, sure, or whatever. I guess, I think he says.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess you can come to my party.
It's kind of intriguing right away. Mm-hmm. I mean, one, it is kind of that human moment of like, your friend's got some kind of life separate from you, and you may or may not even be welcome to be a part of that. Ugh.
Yeah.
But then you also wonder, like, wait, why is Bobby not aware of this? Definitely invited. What's up? You know? And then you find out that the girls are involved, and you're like, oh man, we're going to do a little coming of age story here. Like, there's so much to like and hook you in right away.
Mm-hmm.
I like even the fact that we're somewhere new on this overpass. So there's like, let's build out the physical world that they live in. I like that too.
Yeah, it's not something that we get a whole lot of this season, I've noticed. So it's nice, just to be on a nondescript overpass here does feel like a big change of pace. I mean, most episodes open at their house, so this is a stark change from that. So when they talk about Joseph's boy-girl party, Hank and Dale are both delusional in their own ways. Hank thinks that Bobby's like ready to be a ladies' man. Dale first says that he'll be on the lookout for any frisky business while his wife gets ready to ride off with John Redcorn in the background.
Joseph's having a party. A boy-girl party. With girls.
You're going to need some chaperones, especially if my Bobby's there.
Don't worry, I got it all under control. There's not going to be any hanky-panky at my house.
Yeah, pull it up.
Hey, John Redcorn.
Huh. Yeah.
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 They do that joke a bit, right? Where Dale's oblivious and maybe he's saying something juxtaposed with the reality going on behind his back.
Yes.
This is a pretty good version of that. Pretty good example of it. There's not going to be any hanky-panky going on at my house while his wife's lover pulls up behind him and he immediately says, hey, John Redcorn.
And then the awkward acknowledgement from Hank.
I always love the reaction.
Yeah. He kind of, I think he rubs his neck or something. And he's just like, oh God.
By the way, I love that John Redcorn is always listening to like 80s rock, like hair metal type stuff.
Yeah, I think the band there is Great White. Is that?
Is it?
That
Okay,
he's listening to? Yeah. So he's just a cool guy hanging out with Nancy.
By the way, Hank just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're gonna need chaperones with Bobby around. It's like, come on.
Which is, hey, let's take a second to appreciate that because one of the taglines of the show is that boy ain't right. So it's nice to hear that he's like, well, my son's a lady killer. Like, even if it's absolutely not true, not only that we see in this episode, but we could already assume.
Well, it's funny that it ends up being kind of true. I mean, not like he's some Lothario, but Bobby does just fine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe me saying that was unfair, but the point is, I appreciate here that Hank is talking his son up, and he has some faith in his son in this way that he normally does not.
It doesn't feel like he's wishing it into existence either. It seems like he just kind of thinks it.
It seems like he believes it. Yeah. So Dale, he says Joseph's probably a stud like his dad. I think he means his dad, Dale Gribble.
Your dad, Dale Gribble?
Joseph's getting to be a real lady killer, too. I reckon he gets that from his old man.
Again, with the joke of that, we see John Redcorn peeling off.
I like another opportunity to revisit that. You mean your dad, Dale Gribble?
Yeah. You mean Dale Gribble? Yeah. So we know that Bobby, he's a little bit nervous about this. Like earlier we saw him swallow his spit. Well, he's going to say that he doesn't want to go to a boy-girl party with girls. And it seems that poor Luanne is used to getting groped at parties, and Hank has excellent taste in comedy.
Yeah, we're just learning about all these folks.
All of these characters.
Why would you not want to go to a boy-girl party?
Parties are fun, Bobby. Everybody dresses up and you get to touch dance. Touch dance? I don't know. What if I get filled up? No, you just need some practice.
And there Peggy looks at Luanne. To me, it's like a loaded moment or something. Well, first of all, I think it's funny for Bobby to say, what if I get felt up? It's kind of like I'm a little afraid of being a slut.
Yes, that's my thought too, yeah.
Where Bobby like imagines himself in the roles we would mostly associate with girls.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, this is just stuff that he's like seen on TV or movies or something. He doesn't entirely understand the context.
Like, he's a little bit of a proper lady. He's a proper young lady in his mind. Doesn't want to be dragged into these slutty situations.
Mm-hmm.
But then Luanne kind of wistfully saying you just need practice, and what she's seen, what she's ostensibly directly responding to is getting felt up at parties. Which I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong to think there's a little bit of like it's unwanted touching, you know? I mean, especially, I don't know. Maybe that's not fair, though.
That's the thing, Rob. I don't know how to read this because Peggy looks at Luanne after she says that in a way that I perceive to be like Peggy is mad at her or like kind of angry that she's saying that to Bobby.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to read this whole moment. And, you know, so much of my attention goes to Bobby because he's like, you know, I'm afraid of getting felt up. So to me, that's where my mind is stuck on. The Luanne thing flies past so quickly. I don't know how to read that. I don't know what that's supposed to imply.
Yeah. I don't know if Luanne's just loose, you know, as they might say, and Peggy's a little bit judging her for being a young woman who would be in those situations, having gotten practice at going to parties and being felt up.
Yeah.
Or what? I don't know. And I don't know exactly what Luanne... I don't know. Luanne sounds like she likes it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the idea that she's being like groped or something. Like she's getting physical at parties and has had some experience with that and feels okay about it. She seems to like it.
Yeah.
And Peggy doesn't want her putting that idea in her young Bobby's mind.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Luanne's right. All you need is practice. You think Jeff Foxworthy just woke up one day and took some funny pills?
I mean, one, it's just important for Hank to introduce this idea that Bobby needs practice.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Jeff Foxworthy reference.
It's on brand for the show, right? I mean...
It would have been 1996. I went on a family trip to Florida for my great-grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary. And so it's all these Texans, a lot of us, some folks from Michigan, but like Upper Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe kind of rednecks, I don't know. But we're at this like Gulf Coast resort hanging out in the cabana with a boombox playing Jeff Foxworthy CDs on it, you know. And listen, if you listen to Jeff Foxworthy in the cabana, you might be a redneck, you know, like we're listening, you might be a redneck. So I just kind of like that reference. And I like that Hank, in that case, is doing a pop culture reference, which isn't always the case. And just now it reminds me of Cotton making references to television stuff that's always about hot ladies.
Yeah.
It's like that's what Cotton would like. Here, Hank making a reference to comedy that he would like. It ain't Celery Head. It's Jeff Foxworthy. Of course it's Jeff Foxworthy. It ain't Chris Rock. It's Jeff Foxworthy.
Exactly, yeah. So believable as a comedian that Hank would be behind. Yeah, and then it'll be about 3 more years till Jeff Foxworthy hits the road with Larry the Cable Guy, Bill Engvall, and Ron White as the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which I liked those when I was a kid and I'd catch them on. I liked those specials with those guys. These days, Ron White, probably my favorite of the 4. And Foxworthy, I don't know, maybe being towards the bottom there, but at the time I liked him.
I find Engvall like stunningly mediocre. Just like, wow.
I was I think I went back and watched some of those, and because as a kid I liked all 4 of them, but I think Bill was the one that I was most like, wow, this is not enjoyable.
Larry's made me laugh. You know,
he can
now
be good.
You don't mostly want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
Y'all hear about they got these guys wearing dresses? Like whatever his stupid bullshit perspective is now.
Yeah.
I do still like Ron White a lot. I mean, that tater salad set that he had, you know, it's kind of the classic thing where he had years to build that set.
Yes.
So that special is 100% killer, right? And I've enjoyed his specials since then, but nothing's like that first one. That's one of my favorite hours of comedy to listen to.
Yeah. He's by and far, I think, better than the other 3, but maybe not as prolific as the other 3. But yeah, Hank, he likes Jeff Foxworthy, and I'll get behind that. Better than Bill Engvall.
By the way, Rebecca likes Bill Engvall. It's kind of a running joke for our whole relationship, 20 years strong now. Where she had some Bill Engvall CD or something, and she listened and she liked it, and he makes her laugh, whatever, you know. So anytime we ever like run afoul of Engvall somewhere, we'll watch a little bit, and there's kind of this like in the air, there's kind of like this judgment from me. I don't really mean to do it, but it's kind of like, let's see if he can make me laugh. Your favorite fucking comedian over here. And mostly no.
He'd probably make Hank laugh, though.
That's true.
So at Tom Landry, We get a season 1 special, right? This is something we've seen throughout this season is a surreal animation sequence. We've been getting those, and here is yet another one. In this one, all the girls at school are huge and loom over a confused, cowering Bobby with their multiple moving breasts.
They've got these lumps under their shirts that are just like migrating around and rotating.
So weird. So bizarre. But really just, again, they do that in this first season when the characters are like grappling with something internally. We just see it represented visually in the strangest way. And that's exactly what we get here. And we will join in at the tail end of this clip. And we will find out who saves Bobby from the reverie.
Yeah, it turns out that's an important part here.
Mm.
Hey, Bobby, want to eat? What? Okay. Are you going to Joseph's party? No. My dad won't let me be around boys until after I'm married. Are you going? Nah. Joseph's got a birthday in 9 weeks, and I don't want to get partied out.
9 weeks. Don't want to get partied out, man. It's about 2 months away.
Structurally, I love that this intense visual representation of Bobby's stress and confusion gets diffused. Like he gets saved from it, kind of by Connie. We will see her again later.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're pointing that out because I never made that connection, as we will see towards the end of the episode.
And then I like the way they talk to each other. They're just kind of gentle people who listen to each other. And in this case, like clearly, like they share a kind of an outsider status. Like they're the two that aren't ready maybe to dive into this boy-girl situation. I mean, Connie's saying, she's not allowed to or whatever, but they are outside looking in on this evolution among their peers. And it's just kind of sweet and human to me. I really like them talking to each other. And we don't get it a ton, really. At this point, we haven't.
Yeah, at this point, we haven't. Right. And a good point here to where it's like Bobby's so afraid of girls, and then he's talking to this girl, and it's fine. Like, and he's buddies with her, and it's like there's nothing to be afraid of. So it's just nice to see that Bobby, despite this, like he told Connie, he doesn't want to go to Joseph's party, which is fine by Peggy, who doesn't want Bobby to grow up just yet. But it's not fine by Hank, who doesn't want Bobby to be a late bloomer.
He's almost a teenager. It ain't normal not to be curious.
Oh, it is perfectly normal for a late bloomer to be a little...
He is not a late bloomer. How can you even think something like that about your own son?
Well, he obviously is not ready to socialize with the opposite sex, Hank.
The way you baby him, he never will be.
So we get that conflict between the two of them. It's one of those episodes where, and I can't remember what all we've seen, but where Hank and Peggy are at odds. They've got different ideas about the situation. I think it's funny that Hank is like offended that anyone would suggest that Bobby is a late bloomer.
Right.
Like, is that so bad? Mm-hmm. But if it's late, that means it's abnormal, and anything abnormal, Hank is uncomfortable with that prospect.
Well, can I ask you, is this, maybe this is too personal, is this a conversation that you and Rebecca had? Is this anything that you worried about as a father, about your son being a late bloomer?
No.
I would think this is like me. I don't want to say it's a weird thing, but at the same time, Bobby is 12 years old. Like, he's still a kid. It's not like he's like 17 and afraid to go.
Yeah. The boy-girl stuff is definitely something that comes up, and you try to figure out, like if he's got a girlfriend in the... Here he is now.
Let's ask him.
Headed off to college.
Oh! Mr. Intelligence over here.
What could I ask him?
I don't know. For me, I never went to this kind of party, this boy girl, like spin the bottle kind of thing. Any relationship that I had with a girl was like a Bobby Connie relationship where we were just friends. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't like a big deal, and maybe it turned into something else, but like every relationship I've ever had has been because we were friends first, and then became, not to say I wouldn't have been interested romantically, but that wasn't how I was approaching it.
Right.
I wasn't like, I want to date this girl, so I'm gonna start talking to her. There's always people I was interested in, platonically, I guess, in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a tomboy you played front yard football with in elementary school. And then in 6th grade, and I would have been 13, I think. Is Bobby 12 or 13? What was his
12
birthday?
here.
12?
Yeah.
In 6th grade, maybe I'm 13, I got invited to a party by a kind of a popular girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought her like a Goosebumps or some fucking book to give her as a gift. And I just was too nervous to go. I bailed and didn't go.
Rob.
And I think that she didn't like that. She wasn't happy with me that I didn't go. I mean, I think we were probably still, like, we just talked in class, you know? I think we probably still did, but I feel like I picked up on kind of like, oh, I fucked up. Like, I blew that. Like, she seemed kind of like she liked talking to me and was happy to, you know, and then I was like, didn't go to her birthday party. And probably because I botched a lie, you know? I was probably like, oh, my mom got sick. And she's like, I can tell you're fucking lying. Fuck you forever.
Yeah, that's worse than not going. Yeah.
I was a late bloomer. We don't got to get into it, I don't suppose. 'Cause I don't even know what that means exactly. But I didn't have girlfriends and stuff, you know? My parents probably sat around being like, hey, what's up with the boy? Is he...
Yeah, so they might have been having conversations like Peggy and Hank here.
Yeah, Felix always had girls in his life and stuff, you know?
Yeah, you're going to need a chaperone with that Felix, all right?
That's right.
Well, we're going to take a break from Bobby, Hank, and Peggy here because there's some Luanne stuff in this episode. Luanne, her storyline, playing a big role here.
Oh, yeah.
Luanne is facing mounting pressure to pass her year 1 final exam at beauty school, which sounds like it involves some pretty tough material.
Remember, the most difficult cut in beauty school is the cut that separates first-year students from second-year students. Think about that while you study for next week's final exam, Miss Platter.
So the lady at the beauty school, like, has it out for Luanne, just doesn't think she has what it takes or something like that. So yeah, you got this final coming, and then here's Bobby helping Luanne study.
A manicurist with a 7-inch file is on a train heading east at 80 miles per hour.
Not another manicure question.
I just think that's so funny.
I love that. Yeah, I love that show.
You know, people who do that, trains headed toward each other shit, like to make fun of math class and stuff. And, you know, so it's been done. And here, though, I don't know if I've ever quite heard it where the manicurist is in the details of the word problem, and then that's what Luanne reacts to. It doesn't matter about trains or whatever it would seem to be setting up. So it's some kind of like subversion of the trope or something that I find really funny. Yeah,
they're just like fucking around. Like, it's a self-aware kind of thing. They're aware of the joke, and they're just like fucking around with it, which is, so great. I watched this with my lovely wife Hannah this morning before we got on here to talk. And Rob, I know that you and I have talked about this a lot in the podcast, but even just watching that, Hannah's like, Luanne, why don't you just be a mechanic? You'd make more money doing that, and you're better at it than this. Like, what do you do? But, poor Luanne here, the pressure is really on for her when the beauty school hands out a dummy head that they basically have to cut and style the hair for. It's for practice, but it's the only one she gets. She can't mess this up. She brings the head home right when Hank and Peggy are squabbling over whether Bobby's ready for Joseph's party.
Look, Aunt Peggy, I got my practice head. It's got real hair and everything.
Well, Luanne, it's a very nice head.
Aunt Peggy, I can't let anything happen to it before my final exam.
Now, I will say, and we definitely don't have to spend any time figuring this out, but they call it a practice head. Later, she says she only gets one chance to practice on that head. But it also seems to be the final exam because later she's expected to have this head to show the instructor and get graded on it. So I don't know, but it really doesn't matter.
The way I take it, that phrasing, like practice head, is that it's not a real person. I don't get the impression that they've even cut real people's hair at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this like all theory? Like they have to do all this theory first before they can actually start, with a real person? That's kind of the way I take it. Like it's a practice head in so much that it's not a real person, but it's also like the final exam.
Okay, maybe so.
Her excited rambling fades out. So Luanne is, explaining the importance of this head, but none of that matters. Her rambling, it gets overshadowed by some sax music that fades in. And our boy Bobby, he seems to maybe sort of fall in love at first sight with the head.
Doesn't matter that I wasn't paying any attention. I may not be books.
And that's how we head into the first commercial break. You do hear Luanne saying, like, it doesn't matter that I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I may not be book smart. Like, she's just talking herself into the possibility that she could succeed here or something.
Right.
But yeah, Bobby. So I think that this is where my confusion begins.
Mm-hmm.
I have always thought that Bobby loved the head.
Yeah, Hannah felt the same way. Even watching the whole episode, she was under the impression he loved the head. And that's kind of what sticks in your mind from this episode, is that that's how it plays out. Although, as we'll see, that's questionable. And I was firmly in the camp that, no, he doesn't love this head. It's just like a crutch, as we'll hear later. Like,
Yeah.
But he's using this just to gain confidence. But you are so right, Rob, because I forgot about this one moment where the sax music starts playing, and he's like fucking like he's like really interested in it.
I don't know how much we've noted along the way. It does seem to me that they will do jokes that cause kind of problems for interpreting characters and, you know, in various ways, whatever. I think this is a case of that, but I kind of like the result because what you said, the sax music and the like kind of drooling those kinds of sounds that he's making suggests more to me than he just saw an opportunity to practice, and it's like some kind of sterile undertaking where he's going to like go about the business of getting used to talking to a girl by using this. It's not, he's got something emotional happening, and even like visceral and hormonal or something going on.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they're just playing that for the joke here and don't mean for it to overly influence how you understand things, but if that is your introduction to their relationship, Bobby and the head, I think you're starting out on that foot where it's like, oh, okay, he's like way into the head, huh?
Right.
And then you kind of pick up stuff later, evidence later, that you don't necessarily have to think that. But I understand where I'm coming from, where Hannah's coming from, thinking this dude loves this head. And I like that then you get to kind of wonder.
Right. Yeah.
As I guess I'll wonder out loud a bit as we go here.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make any sense of this, because certainly it seems as if he is in love. He's not seeing it and going, huh. Like he's thinking, oh, I can practice kissing that. He's like, ugh.
Like a light bulb doesn't go off. Something else happens.
Right.
If anything, a light bulb gets turned off because it's time for something to happen in the dark. You know?
So after the commercial break, Bobby's in a button-up shirt and sweater at night in the yard looking through Luanne's window as she brushes the doll's hair. Then she covers the doll, she puts something over it, and then she starts to unbutton her shirt. And as she starts to unbutton her shirt, you know, a great play on your expectation here. Same thing with the train joke.
Yeah.
As she starts to unbutton her shirt, Bobby gets disappointed and walks away. Like, he's not interested in seeing Luanne. He was there to see the head, not spy on his cousin.
If you go to the family reunion to meet women, you might be a redneck.
God damn it, Jeff. Who let him in here? He snuck into our podcast.
Bobby is wearing a button-up shirt outside at night to get a look at the head. It's like he's
dressed up,
courting right away. Like he's getting into that mode of romancing the head. And yeah, I love that. I mean, look, I don't think we've ever noted that Luanne seems to be an attractive young lady.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she's like got a figure and everything. I guess Cotton noted it for us. I can't remember. But anyway, so, I mean, she's his cousin. So great that he walks away. But it is surprising, right? Like here, he's this young boy. Here's this hot woman. Here comes the shirt off. And he just walks away. Joseph Stan.
I just love that he dressed up.
I know.
For this. Hannah was really like, Bobby is so like creepy in this episode and all this and that. Like, does he think the head's real? All this stuff. And I mentioned to her, I said, look, Hannah, there's this great King of the Hill podcast called Yep. And on that podcast, the two handsome hosts point out that Bobby likes to get caught up in his own bullshit, as we saw in Order of the Straight Arrow and as we saw in King of the Anthill, where he convinces himself very much so of insane things. And this is yet another example of that. And I am really interested to keep an eye on this as we work our way through the episode, because I'm already, I think, figuring out how we can reconcile these two different ways to view this. But Bobby walks away. He's not interested in seeing Luanne's boobs, unlike Joseph in a future episode, who is very much interested in peeping on Luanne. When Peggy and Luanne go to the store, Bobby makes an excuse to stay home. The idea was that he was going to go with, but he comes up with a reason not to.
It's, by the way, it's that there's some kind of like special on TV about Christianity or something. So Peggy's hands are tied.
Yeah, and I want to point out here that Peggy and Luanne leave. Bobby, he doesn't just start talking to the head. He fucking closes all the shades. He puts a chair up against the door so that nobody can come in. He knows what he's doing is maybe not on the up and up. And then he sets the head on the kitchen table and he sits across from it.
Hi. Hi, I'm Bobby.
I love, he didn't like the first take. Hi. Like, he's here, and here we go, right? He's here to practice.
But is this practice at this point?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think that the retaking the high and trying again is like getting in his reps, right? Like he's trying things out. He's making improvements as he goes so that he can get better at it.
Yes.
So there's some practice. I do think that like everything you see, you can kind of be like, it's practice. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't stop at high. You know, he spends an afternoon with the head, it seems.
Yeah. They have a whole busy day together. Bobby, he puts the head on the couch and he brings it a can of grape soda. He asks the head to dance. They dance together. Then the women get home. I don't know if they get home early or just Bobby lost track of time on his wonderful dates. But so Bobby kind of freaks out. He has to quickly like get into place. Like when Peggy and Luanne come in. Bobby, he starts chugging the soda. In one shot, the color is wrong. Like, we get this back shot behind Bobby.
Yeah.
And what was previously like a grape soda can.
Purple, of course.
Yeah, purple soda can. Now it looks like Alamo beer. And it does say grape on it, from what I can see. Yes, it says grape, but it does look like the Alamo beer can. And this is kind of important because King of the Hill, a lot of this, actually, I think all of the animation was done in Korea. So because of that, you don't always have the showrunners around when these things are being done. The Koreans would have like reference sheets, and all they had was Alamo beer. Like that's the only kind of can reference that they had. So you'll see this in King of the Hill from time to time, where what was a different drink sometimes will then look like an Alamo beer can, as we see here. So Bobby's not drinking beer; it's just an animation mishap. Before all this, it's kind of brought up that Hank needs a haircut. His hair is growing out a bit.
Well, I guess it has been a week.
yeah, exactly.
Almost a week, he says.
Well, initially, he was going to be okay with Luanne doing his hair, but we learned that Luanne sucks. Like, earlier, she's trying to give Connie highlights, but all the hair comes out. Peggy has crazy hair. So everyone's trying to let Luanne work on them for practice, but she keeps fucking it up. So quickly, Hank decides that he doesn't want her to do his hair. And Rob, I didn't pick up on why doesn't he go to his normal barber? Is that established?
Well, I think that what goes on here is she just catches him needing a haircut, and then he's like, he needs a way out right then. Now he should do a better job and be like, well, I gotta go, whatever.
Yeah, that's what Hannah said. Hannah's like, well, you think he would be really up on this. Like, he would have ran to the barber the second he saw Peggy's hair, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, like, sorry, gotta go. I don't know. I mean, I think he just tries to keep up the lie. His best out in the moment is to say, well, I guess I'll let it grow long. And then he's just like committed to that thereafter. Whereas obviously he could probably find an excuse to, well, Luanne, I was going to let you cut it, but I had, there's something he could say. Instead, what he's doing is he's just committed to his initial lie.
Yeah, that he likes his long hair so that he doesn't have to let Luanne cut it. So Luanne needs someone to come to her rescue and let her practice. And who is that someone?
Who could it be?
I wonder. No. Is it?
How could he possibly help? He's fucking useless.
What?
Bill has a helpful idea.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Well, we know that Bill is a barber. He has compassion for Luanne's situation here. Not that his best friend...
Fucking Dale.
Not that his best friends in the whole world give a shit about this.
Yeah, so we're going to hear, this is a longer clip where Bill, good idea, and good person, it would seem. Dale, different kind of guy.
Hey, we got a whole busload of new recruits coming on the base today. You could practice on them.
Thanks, Mr. Dogtree. I'll go get my instruments.
Boy, I can't wait for her to get that damn test over with.
Yeah, I know. You know, I feel for that kid. I remember when I was starting out as a young barber, I felt so alone.
Nobody cares, Bill.
Jesus.
There's no precedent in the show, I don't think, for Bill. That's a double fucking whammy in that 15 seconds from Bill where, one, hey, here's an actual useful, helpful idea.
Yeah.
That's not coming from the fact that I'm sad my wife left me, that I'm desperate for, connection, that I'm willing to go with whatever the latest bozo told me in a seminar or my dumbass friend on a barrel of flammable liquid. Like, here's an opportunity for you to get some help. And then it turns out that that's coming from this empathy in Bill. So again, it's like what he's feeling is not his shitty life, his shitty, lonely life. It's like, I went through, it was tough trying to become a barber or whatever, he's saying. So like, that's a really unusual Bill moment.
Yeah. And I found myself really interested in what he was going to say. Like, this is like the one time throughout the show so far that he actually has, exactly like you said, something unique to say. And I'm like, oh, I've never heard that experience before. Let's hear what Bill has to say about this. And then Dale comes in almost like a meta commentary from like, no, Bill's going to be used as the weirdo guy that is so depraved. And anytime here, he might have something other than that to say. No, we're not going to let him do it. He's not allowed to be that. He has to be this sad weirdo.
Not a fan of Dale being a jerk to Bill like that.
I'm not a fan of it, Dale. But goddamn it, does it make me laugh.
That's funny.
So we're at the army base now, which is cool to get out here. We're at the army base. Luanne is styling the recruits' heads like she's doing their hair like women's hair, basically.
Yeah.
Bill kind of, he's like, oh yeah, good job, and then he buzzes the hair off.
It's a great plan.
This is a brilliant plan. Yeah. So back to Bobby now. Bobby's going around dressed nice, like a weatherman, Hank says, and changes his mind about going to Joseph's party. Luanne figures it's because he has a girlfriend. Bobby denies it. And we get one of Rob's favorite exchanges.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about, son. Hell, I'm proud of you.
Hell, I'm proud of you too, Dad.
Hell, I'm proud of you too, Dad.
I love it so much. And I will say, so the fact that now he's ready to go to the party, he obviously can't take the head to the party. So doesn't it seem like he's gotten what he needed from the head? He was practicing some stuff. Now he feels more comfortable and he's ready to do this thing. This real thing that doesn't involve the head. So that's like a point for team not in love with the head. I don't even think you can say that he's in love with the head anymore.
Right, because if he was in love with the head, he wouldn't want to cheat on it. He'd say, I got all I need.
Exactly.
I don't need that party.
And somehow I watched this episode however many times over however many years and never quite gave up that initial impression I got from basically a saxophone tricked me.
Tricked by a goddamn woodwind.
Because at this point, it does seem clear. Okay, Bobby, it was about the party. It was about what he ends up saying it was about.
Exactly. And that leads into a great setup for a montage.
See, Peggy? Our boy is perfectly normal.
Cue the Beach Boys.
Yeah, here they come.
Wouldn't it be nice? We can just let it play. Bobby's fully courting the head.
Yes.
Which, okay, so this is another segment where I'd be like, wait, he fucking loves this head. Like, I'm immediately getting back into that because, well, for one thing, because on the Wonder Years, Kevin and a girl he likes have a summer romance set to this song, So, this song means we're in love.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could be together? Anyway, so he's like pulling the chair out for her at a table, the head, I mean, pulling a quarter out from behind her ear, pushing her on the swing, bringing her flowers and ringing the doorbell and kind of acting out that initial, like, hey, I've arrived for our date kind of stuff. He's practicing dating the head.
Yeah.
While the Beach Boys play. It's a great song, by the way. Love that song.
Yeah, fantastic song. Yeah, but it is kind of like that. There's a disconnect here between what we see and what happens in the episode. To where it's like, what's happening indicates he's not in love with the head, but what we see is it's like, well, Bobby, you're going a little bit extra, but all right, in the name of practice, I guess I can't completely knock his method because by all means, it seems to work. He's right. Going to the party and he's also, as we will see, smooth with the ladies at school.
How you doing, Ashley? Looking good, Maria. I'll catch you later, Bonnie. Man, when did you get to be so slick? What do you mean? Yo, Sharice, you Stone Cold Fox, what up?
You're gonna be the most popular guy at my party. I hope your lips don't fall off.
From what?
From kissing. We're gonna play spin the bottle.
I love so slick. Like, that's just like slobbery kind of delivery. And I don't know if I fully realized or appreciated that Bobby, what he's doing is all like very innocent. It is like courtship. I think I used that word at some point, that he was courting the head. He's not been getting like weird with the head, like he's not getting physical with the head. He's bringing it flowers and pushing it on a swing. And so when Joseph says there's going to be kissing,
it's curveball,
Bobby, that last little bit we hear there is like, oh, like he
wasn't expecting that. Like, he didn't even think about that.
Yeah. He basically swallowed another loogie.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really it, because he wasn't kissing the head before. There was nothing like that. It was just being around girls, which we saw worked. He's so slick now. But now it's okay. We're on to stage 2, which is kissing. So back to the method here, the Bobby method. You gotta practice. He goes back to the head and he practices some spin the bottle with it. And he's wearing his robe. He has an ascot on. Again, he's dressed up. He's fully into this practicing session.
I think he says something like, maybe we're gonna hear it, but he's like, I've got something special planned for us.
He's sweet talking the head.
Yeah.
And while he's doing spin the bottle
with ketchup,
Peggy comes home. Bobby doesn't know this. She barges in on the practice session, which she doesn't know is a practice session. And again, we are in level 2 now, stage 2, and that involves kissing, and that's exactly what Peggy walks in on. Bobby is kissing the plastic head in his room.
Bobby!
There's that damn sax.
Relax, baby. It's just
Peggy's
you
hearing this through the door.
and me.
Bobby!
Mom!
Because remember, Peggy, maybe in the back of her mind, thought that Bobby had a girlfriend, because Luanne kind of mentions, like, oh,
that's right.
Do you have a girlfriend or whatever? So that's what she is anticipating when she opens that door, but it's not what she sees. It's fucking... Oh, God. It's like, the interesting thing about this episode is we are a fly on the wall for so many private moments with Bobby. And I guess we'll talk about this more at the end, but like, how weird is this truly? Because he's doing it to not be weird. He's doing it so that he can be normal around girls, and to accomplish that, he has to be very weird in private.
I like that. I like that point.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
I don't know. I love that movie. My Girl came out in 1991. I'm 10 years old. I got obsessed with getting a kiss like Anna Klumsky and Macaulay Culkin by the pond.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wanted that for years. I don't know when I first kissed somebody. I don't remember. I mean, honestly, it's because like some weird shit, right? Like my friend had a girlfriend and he's like, hey, you should kiss Rob. So like maybe that was it. But I forget all what I thought after the fact. I was like, wait, was that my first kiss? I don't know.
So it sounds like, maybe you got it out of the way and didn't even realize it.
Maybe, yeah.
I was 13, so I don't remember that long ago. So it's like, because the reason I'm asking and I'm talking about this is I'm trying to like put myself in Bobby's shoes of having that anxiety around kissing, which I most certainly had. I just don't remember it. Now, I wasn't kissing no plastic head trying to practice like that, but I'm trying to be sympathetic to Bobby here. Who knows? Maybe if I had a mannequin head, I would have been. I know when I was like little, I was like a kid. I remember I had this doll of like I think it was like Jasmine from Aladdin or something that I was like in love with as like a little boy, and I remember like kissing that. But I was like way younger than Bobby is here.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing it, it was cute. It wasn't like a 12-year-old boy.
I promise it was cute.
I promise.
It wasn't weird.
I promise. Okay, it's normal for 17-year-old boys to kiss Jasmine dolls. All right.
Here's a way that I was a late bloomer related to kissing is in 8th grade. I'm probably 14. I like a girl that rides the bus. We're on the bus for an hour each way, because we live out in the boonies. And she actually likes me back. And I hadn't really had a girlfriend before, so she becomes my girlfriend, which means like we held hands on the bus and walked together in the hall sometimes at school, But then it was like, hey, you should come over. So I go over to her house one Saturday morning, and she's showing me the place, like they got a little bit of land, here's the barn, whatever. And she's smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, oh, you should quit smoking, She's like, take a puff. I'm like, no way. And I'm thinking like in 4th grade, I signed a pledge that I wouldn't smoke. So I'm like,
I have to uphold that legal document.
I think for once I managed not to tell someone that, like I would just tell, oh, I signed a pledge. I don't do things. But then she's like got her arms up, like her hands clasped behind my neck. You know what I mean? Like she's kind of like hugging my neck. And she's ready, like she's going to lean in and I've never kissed anybody and I've obsessed over it for a few years at this point. And I like did a spin move to break free from her embrace and just would not kiss her.
You signed a pledge that you would not kiss until you were married.
I think I was just really scared of doing a bad job, and I had built it up as something like pretty important and everything, and I didn't have any practice. No mannequins around. No Jasmine dolls. Yeah, like that's one of those memories where it's like, God damn it. Like, what a loser. Come on, man. Like, just so in my own head, I couldn't kiss this cute girl.
But, I mean, that goes exactly to Bobby in this episode, to where all of this is just in his head, where he's building it up, like as we saw at the beginning, when he's afraid of girls, but then it's like, well, he can talk to Connie, no problem.
Yeah, that's right.
But I guess for kissing here, that's a new thing that he's never done, so I guess I understand why he would be a little bit more nervous about that specifically.
I think one reason why I love Bobby so much is that, at least to some degree, he's outwardly, I relate to a lot of what he has going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lived most of my life trying to just suppress all that and hide that and present some other stronger, more stoic, cooler type version of myself, So I see in Bobby, like even like he's kind of a chubby, husky kid, and he just kind of lives as that. And, whereas I'm like, I gotta, like from a pretty early age, being like, I gotta like be fit and I need to have muscles and like just like trying to create the outward appearance that I needed physically to feel more secure socially, Whereas Bobby just goes around being a little chubby. Like I was afraid of being a husky kid because I kind of had a little bit of a belly and I didn't like that, Not that Bobby loves it about himself all the time, but he's like, I'm trying to hide that and escape it and not be that. And that's just one example, right? Like this discomfort, like obviously he's not going around telling everybody like, hey, I'm uncomfortable around girls. So in this case, it is like private. And then I can kind of relate like, yeah, privately, I felt like that. I just like that Bobby as a character goes through stuff that I've considered weaknesses and I've been ashamed about. He's doing it on screen, whether he's ashamed of it, sometimes kind of proud of it. And I don't know how many characters are like relatable in that way for me.
Right. He's like unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what draws people to him. And certainly that's what draws me to him, is because he doesn't, he has, I don't want to say he doesn't have a filter, but again, to like, I don't want to get felt up or whatever. like he never really stops to question what he's doing or why he's doing it. It's just who he is.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for Hank and Peggy, that's who he is. And here in Act 3 now, Hank and Peggy argue about whose fault it is that their boy kisses heads.
Peggy, it's not your fault.
Well, why'd you say that?
I just said it's not your fault.
Well, it did not need saying. I know it is not my fault. If anything, this is your fault. You made him go to that camp with no toilet doors.
Don't point your finger at me, woman. You're the one who parks him in front of the TV and makes him watch all them Muppets. They got frogs kissing pigs. What the hell did they think was going to happen?
I just love that joke, so I wanted to include that.
Yeah.
They got frogs kissing pigs.
I love that they're jumping to blame here. It's not just like that boy ain't right, that's how he is. That's like they have to blame each other for this and have a little bit of conflict, I guess.
I'm wondering, have we seen any of that kind of like disagreement about how to parent? I mean, similar to Luanne's saga, where it's like, here's how you got to handle this. I mean, obviously that's not their actual child, but they're basically playing the parent role there. I don't remember how to punish Bobby for smoking. Like obviously they disagree about raising the kid and methods for that. I guess that's part of who they are.
In that episode, though, they're together. They're on the same page disciplining Bobby when they catch him smoking. It's after Peggy leaves the scene that Hank then runs off with his dumbass idea, which then they do disagree about. But here they are preemptively disagreeing and trying to figure out what the hell to do about Bobby in a way that I don't recall happening up until this point, but certainly not to this extent, at least that comes to mind.
I also like that the core issue here is just letting your kid grow up, wanting your kid to grow up, wanting to take care of your kid and make sure they don't end up in situations they're not ready for. Like that is a real part of parenting. And it makes sense that you might end up not on the same page about that too. It's like I think we've got to nudge him to grow. That's like I think that we should let him take his own pace. It's like it's too easy not to grow if nobody's nudging. And it can be tricky,
Right, yeah, because ultimately they have his best interest at heart. And I mean, to Hank and Peggy's credit, they don't know what's going on. Like their imaginations are running wild, and they are, I have to imagine, assuming the worst of what is happening here. They don't know what we know. They don't know that like what Bobby's going through, and that ultimately this is working to get him smoother with the ladies, which by all means Hank would be ecstatic about.
That's right.
But they don't know any of that here. They just think that their son is some fucking freak who's in love with a plastic head, which also, as the viewer, we are a little bit unsure of.
That's
as
true.
well.
Speaking of freaks, Peggy does have a line here that we're not going to hear in a clip where she's like, we got to do the sensible thing. We can move to Germany.
Yeah, move to Berlin.
They like all kinds of freaks.
Yeah, exactly. They think that there is just something completely fucking broken about Bobby here, and that is leading their argument is that they are both just so rattled over what is going on here.
That's what's behind this great joke that I almost wasn't going to have us include, but I just like it so much, where it's time to go talk to Bobby, and Hank's like really announcing that they're coming. So,
We're heading down the hall towards your room, son. That's us knocking.
Like, please, God, don't be doing anything weird when I open this door.
Yeah.
I'm giving you ample warning.
Yeah.
Please.
For both of their sake, for Bobby's sake and for their sake, to not have to see anything they don't want to see. So Hank takes Bobby for a drive, and Bobby explains, look, this is all just for practice. I don't want to be weird, and that's why I'm doing this.
Look, Bobby, I'm as open-minded as the next guy, but just so you know, most states
Hank.
won't let you marry a plastic head.
I don't want to marry it. Ugh. I just need it to practice my first kiss so I don't look like an idiot.
You're kissing a plastic head and you're afraid of looking like an idiot?
But the thing is, like we were saying, this is private. He didn't intend for anybody to see him kissing this head. Like, nobody was supposed to know about this.
That's probably all there is to it. I kind of am motivated to hold on to the possibility that Bobby has more going on with the head. I don't think that that's viable. I think it's practice. It's that thing you've talked about where he gets swept up in his fantasy world,
Mm-hmm.
Like he is being a shaman with the head a bit or something. Like he's like going method with it or something. Like he's just really good at practice.
Yes. But the thing is it's like, if he isn't going method with it, if he isn't completely 100% invested in this, would it work?
Right.
Because by all means, it is working. So who am I to disagree with the man's method?
Like in that scene right there, I wish I could read Bobby having something a little bit more layered going on, where it's like, well, I can say this and this is plausible and this will get me out of the awkwardness. But the truth is, I kind of thought maybe I want to marry it. I just don't think I can come by that interpretation, honestly. Are you surprised that Hank doesn't accept that? Like he makes the joke that you're worried about being weird and you're kissing the head. But why not just be like, oh, you're practicing? That's weird, but okay. Instead, he's like, I got to get you away from this head.
Yeah, it's interesting. You'd think that Hank would respect practice, especially with his like football past. Like, oh, okay, well, like that's a great way for Bobby to frame it. It's like, let's just practice, Dad. I want to kiss real girls.
It's like a tackling dummy for my lips.
Yes, that's exactly it. I don't know. I really could see Hank going either way on this because Hank Hill, as we know, is somebody who is so rigid, complete bullshit that he's as open-minded as the next guy. That is not true.
Well, who's the next guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Dale, Bill, who honestly both of them might be more open-minded about this.
I know. I don't know. I don't think we've met anybody that he could put next to him and pull this off.
Cotton maybe? He's more open-minded than Cotton. Hank is somebody who is so defined by norms that I do understand why he's just like, I gotta make this problem go away. Like, we can't have this. So I'm disappointed that he doesn't believe his son, and I feel like Bobby really does defend himself here in a way that does suggest that he's not interested in this head. There's no reason for Hank to think that Bobby is lying about his feelings for the head, but at the same time, this is in line with Hank.
Yeah.
And that will lead him to lock the head away in the kitchen cabinet.
Yeah, how about having a lockable kitchen cabinet?
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, what the fuck are you... Why do you need that in your kitchen? I don't quite understand, but...
Like how secure is it even going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could imagine maybe you, like, store liquor in there or something, but...
Oh, yeah, that could be it. Yeah, like a kind of a liquor cabinet kind of situation. Like, a lot of this, ultimately, the point is we need a plot here. Because if he just said, oh, okay, son, then, like, okay, what else is going to happen in the episode? Because you could also say, well, why didn't Hank lock it in the garage? Why didn't he lock it in his truck? Why didn't he keep it in their bedroom? And it's because Bobby has to be able to try and get it for what's going to happen next. So... that's what happens. It's nighttime now. Bobby, he picks the lock with a fork, which, holy shit, Bobby, all right.
I like to imagine that he's picked that lock for various reasons over the years, living in this house, growing up.
Maybe he's practiced, yeah. There's a shot of Hank and Peggy's bedroom where you see that only one person is in bed, and then Hank's big face moves into the frame.
Unusual little sequence, right?
Yeah.
Just having the animation work that way.
Well, worth mentioning, because we're not describing exactly how it plays out, because Bobby does make some noise. He does fuck up a bit. There's some noise coming from the kitchen. So as the viewers, we are a little bit tense, wondering if he will get away with it. We don't know what's going to happen. So we're like, oh, is he going to get the head and go back to his room and make out with it? Well, no. Hank's awake.
Cut to the bedroom. And I think that it took me a second. I was like, hey, wait, there's only one person in bed. And then here comes this big face, if it's like close to the camera, as it were. And it's kind of a funny joke. Like, the setup is subtle where it's like, hey, half this bed's empty.
Yep.
And then here's the reveal that Hank is on the case. I liked that moment.
Yeah, it's fun for us as the viewer, because throughout this episode, again, we as the viewer know what's going on with this head. We see things that the other characters don't. But here, we are kind of being surprised by, oh shit, Hank's finding out about it. He catches Bobby with the head, grabs it, takes it out to the garage, and cuts it in half with a table saw.
Well, that just tears it. I have tried to be patient, but now it's time for a little tough love.
No. Wait.
What's going on?
I don't know.
No, Dad, no.
Hank! Stop, Hank! Please!
Oh, no. Please don't come back. My test. What about my test?
Poor Luanne. What about my test? Okay, now can I get back to thinking Bobby loves the head a little bit? Because he is screaming no. I guess he's so invested in getting good at kissing that this is very important to him.
That's the way I take it.
But I get, if nothing else, start off with the saxophone drooling, watch the Beach Boys montage, have him flip out, desperate not to have the head be damaged. I get where I'm coming from all these years. So
yeah, no, I mean, I certainly don't blame anyone for assuming that Bobby is really in love with the head, because he acts so extreme towards, especially in this moment. But yeah, the way I read it is just like the pressure. He's like, this head is the only way that I could get through this. And he's seeing that his only means of practicing and gaining confidence has been destroyed in front of him, and he doesn't know how else he would get it without it. And then, of course, poor Luanne here is like, what about my fucking test? Like, Hank is such a goddamn asshole. Like,
he can be.
He could have just given it to Luanne and said, you lock this up, don't let, or he could have done anything else than this.
Well, I liked it. I mean, he behaves rashly. He gets a little caught up in the moment, Hank does. He does something that Hank would do. He uses a tool to quote unquote, fix the problem. And then when Luanne's upset, maybe we just go to the next scene or whatever. But I think that ends with Hank being kind of like he kind of realizes like, oh, I went too far. I did the wrong thing there, which, he makes up for it in a nice little scene here.
Yeah. So to make up for it, he lets Luanne cut his hair for her beauty school final. So the teacher says that she did a bad job, unfortunately.
So we're going to hear kind of an extended clip of the teacher grading Luanne's job cutting Hank's hair. And she's like drawing circles on his head. And so you'll hear these kinds of things as she basically shits all over Luanne's efforts.
First, this is not the plastic head you were issued. Second, just look at the way you shaved against the grain here, here, and here. And these are the worst sideburns I've seen since Chair 3, which makes me suspect you cheated. F.
What?
That means you fail.
What a bitch.
That seems unlike Hank to use that word. But I love the build up to it. Like, she's really going on and on about how bad a job Luanne did. And then Luanne cries, so it almost creates this, like, quiet beat for Judge to deliver that line.
What a bitch.
What a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. We've never heard Hank speak like that, really.
And he says hell. That's about as far as he goes, right?
But in this instance, this teacher clearly hates Luanne. And she's like, oh, this is bad. And also, I think that you cheated because, like, the sideburns or something. Like, she's just piling all of this on to where you can't really draw any other conclusion than that she is not a nice person. Hank, he's really trying to be nice after that, but he completely flips the entire situation. He talks up the haircut, calling it his favorite ever. Like, he's trying to make Luanne feel better.
Like, it's not a scheme beyond that, right? He's just talking to Luanne.
He's just being a good uncle, and he feels bad for Luanne because he clearly saw this teacher is nuts.
He also does seem to think it's a good haircut.
Yeah. He doesn't really seem to be digging for ways to describe how he likes this haircut, and ultimately it ends up softening up the teacher.
Don't cry, Luanne. This is the best haircut I ever had. The hair is all nice and uniform, which is tough because I have bumps here and here.
I noticed. I layered on the upslopes and tapered on the down.
Yep, this is my all-time favorite haircut.
Thanks, Uncle Hank.
Miss Platter, I I'm sorry. I've been mean and unfair. I guess I just got so far from the hair and so into the whole power trip of running the academy. I forgot the most important principle of the beautician's art. Repeat business and referrals. You pleased your customer. You pass.
I like these little things that people say related to the beauty school that are just like what would you say, but like the everyday norm of actually being in a beauty salon.
Right.
Here's what I'm thinking of is stuff like, well, her referring to getting repeat customers, you pleased your client. But really, when Luanne earlier, when Hank initially does agree to let her cut his hair, and she's like, oh, thank you. And then she's like, I'll be with you in a moment. Like she puts on a professional voice and says the thing that she would say in the scenario. I kind of like that.
Yeah, a surprise turn from this teacher who clearly had it so out for Luanne.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately she's right. It's like, well, look, you please your client and you're in this to make money, right? Ultimately, that's why people are probably there rather than to just be there for the artistic integrity of cutting hair or whatever. Like if it doesn't matter, like if you do everything by the book, if the client doesn't like it, then they're not going to come back to you and you're not going to be able to make a living doing this. So if you can just please the client, then that's what you're here for. So a nice change from Hank to where we were kind of hating him for what he did to Bobby, but he at least redeems himself here with Luanne. And it's always nice just to see Hank and Luanne having a nice moment like this.
Sure, yeah. I guess I do wish somehow that Hank and Bobby had more of a resolution.
Yeah, they really don't.
You don't really get that, but you do get Peggy and Bobby. You know, Peggy's been struggling with Bobby growing up too fast, but now he's ready to go to the party, it turns out.
Yeah, we see her straightening his bolo tie, and she tries to let him grow up. Emphasis on tries.
Bobby, your father told me you were just kissing the head for practice. Now, I know he made that up to protect me, but I am your mother, and I have decided that I am going to love you no matter what.
Okay.
I realize I am just as much to blame for your condition as the media and the devil.
Condition. The media and the devil. Yeah, that's a lot of that's funny to me.
Yeah, that's great. But after that clip, Bobby goes to walk out of the room and Peggy's still hanging on to him. Like she won't really let him go. Bobby's got a cute little Texan outfit on here. At least that's how I perceive it. Did you have a little outfit like this, Rob? Did you have a little bolo tie that you might wear if you're going out?
I think there was one bolo tie in the house. Maybe my dad's left over from the urban cowboy fad, 1980-ish, when he had a cowboy hat and stuff. I don't remember. I think I had like one gray suit when I was little. By the time I was Bobby's age, I don't think I had any way of dressing up. Maybe a button-up shirt.
Yeah, same.
We just weren't, like we didn't go to church. We didn't go to events. I didn't go to parties, that's for damn sure.
Not put into many bolo tie required situations.
That's right,
so.
yeah.
Outside of the Gribbles, Bobby is nervous and ducks around the corner. There's like women, I guess girls, coming into the Gribbles house. Like they're walking down the sidewalk, going to the house. Bobby kind of is trying to hide. So Bobby, again, he ducks around the corner, runs down an alleyway. Connie finds him there. She says that she's been practicing kissing on her hand, hoping her first kiss will be special. And Bobby's like, oh, that's how you've been doing it. Then she suggests that they practice kissing each other, and Bobby and Connie kiss.
You want to kiss me? No, just practice. Yeah, and then they do kiss.
Was that right?
I think so. Do I have any hickeys?
I don't see anything.
Tom Jr., come home for dinner. Your prawn's getting cold.
Well, I better get to that party.
Hey, good luck.
Thanks.
It's just so nice.
Such a sweet moment. Like, the funny thing is, Bobby kissed a real girl. He did it, and he's still worried about going to the party. He's upset. He's like, I guess I'll go over to Joseph's now.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't give him the confidence that the plastic head would.
I guess some of the girls at Tom Landry are just enormous at this age. They hit their growth spurts faster and stuff. Connie's the same size as Bobby.
Good point.
She's super familiar to him. She's nice to him, you know? So it's like, girl or not, do we have a sense that Bobby, like, has any feelings about Connie at all? I don't think so,
At
right?
this point, no. And that's the difficult part doing this podcast is I don't want to let my understanding of who these characters become cloud how I see these episodes, you know? Because obviously we know what happens between them.
Right.
But at this point, I think that you're right. We've just seen them being friends, and that's really it. And he doesn't seem particularly excited to like have kissed her here.
That to me is not relatable, because if there was a girl anywhere near me, I was very aware that she was a girl. You know, if a girl had suggested like let's practice kissing, I'd be like, oh,
I would be like, I love you now. Yeah.
Do you want to set a date? Should we start picking out cake? Bobby, yeah, he just doesn't seem maybe to quite think of Connie as a girl somehow. It doesn't seem like, even after he kisses her, it's not like he's like, oh.
Yeah, I want to go to your house.
Which is what I might expect. Instead, he's like, okay, well, I guess I got to go do this thing now. But I like Connie so much, and she says good luck. Like, she understands he's nervous, and Connie's a good kid.
Yeah, probably the best character in King of the Hill, honestly.
Maybe so.
Yeah. And again, to the whole kind of underlying thread of this episode of building things up in your head.
Yeah.
Like I said, he just kissed a girl, and he's fine. He did it. It was great. But he's still afraid of it, just like Peggy and Hank built up in their head what was going on with Bobby and the plastic head. But we're about to see that resolution here. We're at the party, and it's kind of like, it seems like a dud. Everyone there all seems nervous. They're playing Spin the Bottle, and nobody's really talking. It's not like everyone else is super confident. If anything, Bobby is probably the most well-prepared person here, and possibly the most experienced. It's Bobby's turn to spin the bottle. The Gribbles come downstairs to the basement and start to bicker as the bottle stops, and it's landed on Nancy. Bobby, determined, he goes for it. He lunges at her.
Yeah, who knows if this will work in audio.
Yeah.
But there's the bottle spinning.
All right, why is it so quiet down here? What are you kids up to?
Dad!
Oh, Dale, let's leave him alone.
You can't leave him alone.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I told you that.
It's now pointed at Nancy, and here's Bobby, like, gathering steam, getting determined.
That's what's supposed to happen when we get home.
Damn sugar.
Sugar what?
So the animation is like weird, right? He jumps from the foreground, like we're behind him, and he jumps towards Nancy. I gotta say, I wish she wouldn't yelp like that, like make that sound that kind of emphasizes she doesn't want this to happen. You know, like that makes me, that's a little uncomfortable.
Let me give you my take on that, which is Bobby basically launched his whole body. He is airborne at her. And to me, the yelp isn't even so much about him trying to kiss her so much as there is a child flying at me right now, flying at my body. I can't imagine he like landed on her and kissed her. He probably like slammed into her. Like,
yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Practically speaking, that's probably how it plays out. I don't know. We know that he's got a kiss on his mind, and then we hear a lady in some kind of distress. I would have liked a different note to end on. I honestly, for me, I would have liked if he's walked up and laid one on her, and then she was kind of like, stunned or surprised or something, but not necessarily, what would I say? Well, like distressed,
Right. Or she, Shug, you're so cute or something like that. Or,
yeah, she could totally play it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, the way I kind of wished it would end, and look, they want to end it on like a silly, weird kind of joke, because it was certainly a silly, weird episode. I would have been happy if it ended with him and Connie parting ways and Bobby goes in the house and roll credits. Like, we don't really even need to see this.
That's good. I would have liked that.
Again, that might be too sentimental, but
I think that would have been good.
Yeah, I would have liked it, but this certainly is an ending that stuck with me. I remember seeing this a lot as a kid and seeing just Bobby flying at her. It's just
it's a weird
strange.
visual.
Yes, very, very, very strange visual.
It does. I mean, the one thing we lose if we go with the, Bobby walks into the party and that's that, like really in a way, you could say he probably has gotten the resolution that he needed, whether, even though it didn't have to do with what he thought he wanted the whole time, that old storytelling trick. But I guess at least with the Nancy thing, you see him break through the nerves and in a pretty Bobby way, like step up and find the confidence and make the move, do the thing,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like he is so well prepared that he like doesn't even stop to think like this isn't even one of the girls that we're playing with. He's just like, I'm ready to kiss a girl. Let's get it on.
I like that he levels up, right? Like this ain't just some middle school girl. This is Nancy Gribble.
This is Rob's lovely Nancy Gribble here that he flings himself at without really a second thought.
Hey, there were some lines that are funny. They weren't really necessary for the story. I just threw them here at the end if you want to hear.
Yes.
One, Hank comes into this episode carrying the mail into the house.
Bills. Why do we keep getting Bill's mail?
So stupid, but so funny.
Bill.
Couldn't help but think of the old Bill. He's
Yeah,
like, Bills.
Bills.
Then there's this great exchange that might have been worth just including earlier, but it's when Hank finds out that there's going to be a boy-girl party, that Bobby's going, and so he's in a good mood about that.
Hey there, Bobby. I guess they found a cure for the cooties.
I don't know. What are cooties?
Well, when I was a boy, that's what we called the germs you got from girls.
Oh, you mean like chlamydia?
God damn.
It's such a Bobby moment.
Uh-huh.
And then when Bobby says he doesn't want to go to the party at some point, and Hank's like, well, there's going to be girls there.
It's just a dumb party.
A dumb party with girls?
Well, I don't like girls.
Peg, honey, close the screen door.
It's just a dumb party.
It's funny that it closed the screen door, which doesn't make any sense. You'd still be able to hear him saying it.
Yeah, I think the implication is like close the glass.
Maybe so, yeah.
Like to cover the screen. But yeah, you're right. I didn't catch that until now. You're right. That is maybe not how I would have worded it. But yeah, that's the thing about this episode. So many great lines in it, like these, like that we didn't even need to mention going through the episode, but like it's just peppered with so many of these fantastic jokes. I suspect we have some fantastic questions for each other for our quiz bowl. Rob, I'm going to ask you to go first because I'm afraid that we might have the same.
Oh, I wonder why you'd be afraid about that.
Well, what's your question?
Peggy and Hank are fighting early on about whether Bobby's old enough to go to a boy-girl party.
Oh.
Of course, Hank's pretty gung-ho about it. Peggy says, well, Hank might as well drive Bobby to Hollywood and do what? I think that might be hard.
I have.
So I'll narrow it down a bit here.
Yeah.
Drive him out to Hollywood and put him on a TV show. Which TV show does she name?
90210. I don't know. I have no idea.
The Dating Game. She says you might as well put him on the Dating Game.
Okay, I'm not familiar. What do you do on that show?
It's the one, it gets referenced all the time, where there's some lady, I think often a lady, maybe it goes both ways, on one side of a partition. She can't see the three contestants, and they answer questions. She picks which one she wants to go on a date with. And famously, there was a serial killer on there one time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then, what's her name? Just made a movie about it. So there's a whole bunch of lore around the dating game.
Okay, well, I was joking because I was like, what do you do on the dating show after you date? But I'm glad that you did explain it because I'm at least familiar with the concept of that show being parodied in a bunch of other things, even if I haven't seen it. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking we'd have the same question for each other, but in the episode, Bobby's at school. This is at the beginning when he's afraid of girls. Opens his locker. He puts his lunchbox in the locker. What is on his lunchbox?
Oh, man, I think I noticed this.
It's a movie. I'll tell you that.
I'm not going to get it. I think I did notice this, and now I've forgotten. I do so much watching with just listening that I do miss out on this visual stuff all the time. I feel like I'm going to kick myself. I should guess, though, right? Is it the Flintstones?
No, it is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I love that that's what he has on it. But it makes sense, right? Bobby's a comedy guy. Robin Williams, one of the best. No arguments here.
And certainly one of Bobby's kind of funny.
Yes,
Robin Williams would be a good fit for him, you'd think.
Absolutely. So, plastic white female, just a great end to the season.
Yeah.
Really, I think. I think this is a strong episode because not only is the concept very great, but just like, we ended on with all those like little just random jokes thrown in. Like that's what's important to me, is to have these laugh out loud moments within the plot. Like that's what makes a fantastic King of the Hill episode. And this one has all of that. Some good discussion around this one of, does Bobby love the head or not? Some different ways that people can interpret this episode. I think I have to give this one 5 jockey short Sears sales out of 5. That's why Peggy and Luanne leave the house earlier in the episode. I don't know. It's a classic episode of this show and a very interesting one because Bobby's being weird here, but it's for understandable reasons, even if, as Bobby does, he takes it a little too far at times.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, Bobby's the best. I love Bobby so much, and this is obviously a big Bobby episode, and he's got a lot going on. The show's tight. The episode is tightly paced. Like with all those jokes you're talking about, the story keeps moving along. We get like montage, animation sequence. There's like a variety of elements, I mean, just Bobby and Connie alone elevates the episode, but then you also get Bill actually being worth a shit.
Yeah.
Lots to like. I was wondering what you thought about, I don't think Boomhauer says or does a single thing.
I don't think he says anything this episode.
He's there briefly when they're talking about the party.
Yeah, we see him, but he doesn't say anything, which you'd think Boomhauer's one who could help Bobby out.
That's a different story. If you wanted to tell it, would be Bobby seeking out advice from Boomhauer,
which is a future episode, I believe, where Boomhauer helps Bobby like try and get girls or something like that. So they do kind of come back to that. But yeah, nothing from Boomhauer here. But like you said, Connie, Joseph, a good Luanne plot. We've been seeing this like cloud of beauty school over the season with Luanne. So it was nice to get even more of that here.
Yeah, there's so much to like about this episode. I'm going to slip it all 5 tongues.
Yes. Hell yeah. You're going to let the bottle land on it 5 times in a row. Right. And lunge at it.
I'm putting some magnets in place to get this bottle to spin the way I need it to, because this is happening.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you for listening to Yep. Thank you for spending this time with us with Plastic White Female, and for listening to us, if you have, talk through this entire season. We would like to thank our supporters over at yeppodcast.com who keep this show chugging along, especially our propane Hall of Flamer, Nick. Nick, he's a great guy. I assume that he had no problems with kissing girls and he just knew exactly what to do. If indeed he does kiss girls. Whoever Nick kisses...
They stay kissed.
Yeah, they stay kissed. That's exactly it. And if Nick launched himself at Nancy Gribble, she would not be screaming in terror like she did for Bobby. That's all I'll say about that. I want to say... Rob, we finished season 1. We're going to be changing up the show a little bit. We're trailblazers here on Yep, unlike the other King of the Hill podcasts that I know of, and there are many. We are not going to be going chronologically anymore. We are going to be skipping around at our leisure, saying, which episode do we want to talk about this week? It doesn't matter what season it's from. So we're both very excited for that, not only for the show itself, but also for the supporter-only section. It'll be fun to jump around with the pop culture.
I think there's a lot of advantages to doing what we're going to do.
Right.
You know, we have enjoyed kind of tracking stuff about characters emerging, but sort of the one loss in my mind. It's like, well, we don't quite get to follow that.
I agree with that. Although worth mentioning, you know, with season 1, the characters at this point are pretty close to who we know them to be. So I don't anticipate there to be as much of that. But I do agree. It is a bummer to miss out on that. But hopefully for you listening, like if you've listened to other King of the Hill podcasts, like all these podcasts, including ours, have talked about the same episodes. So we're trying to break out of that and hit some episodes that haven't gotten as much love, that are equally as great as these earlier episodes are.
That's a big advantage. You know, I'm a sucker for seasons. I guess if I was going to list reasons why I think it's cool to jump around, I would have ended on that one because it sets up the transition to where we are, in fact, headed next.
Yes.
But I'll end it there. Lots of advantages, including I love seasons for one thing. So like if it's Christmas and there's a Christmas episode, shit, let's talk about it. Or at least be able to talk about Christmas stuff and pop culture if we want to do that kind of thing. Lots of flexibility and opportunities to do different fun and cool things, I think.
Like Rob said, he loves himself some seasons. And next time, when you hear us here, we will be talking about... We're not going too far in the future.
No, we're not, it turns out.
Season 2, Episode 4's Halloween.
You know, there's nothing in the Constitution about separation of church and garage. Why don't you make a haunted garage?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Nuh-uh, Uncle Hank. You could go to hell.
I don't remember it very well, and I wonder what's in store for us. I know that I like Halloween a lot, and so that alone will be fun for me.
It's not just Halloween, it's also religious fundamentalists pushing their views.
My favorite thing.
No, that's one of your pastimes. Yeah, so just like a great episode. I'm so excited to talk about it, and make sure that you watch that one. If you're listening along, make sure you watch that one instead of the first episode of Season 2. Season 2, Episode 4 is Halloween. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yep.